It's currently 11:05 p.m. Here's where I am currently on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project. I recall using these Sharpie markers primarily during the work I did on the back of the Moogle polystyrene drawing project not too long ago, over the past few hours, doing work not only on the 50 crate on the back of the project, but also after doing the current work of the 50 crate, as I was thinking about where to have this up top, start and end on the bottom here before doing my best to make a sort of a little colored bar. I decided that since the grass on the bottom of the drawing on all sides is thick enough that towards the very bottom edge is thick enough that it's all green, I would make the bottom where I usually put the timestamp completely green using the fine-tipped end of the default green Sharpie marker. I just depicted. I'm gonna finally try the Mumbo sauce. Kind of tastes, is kind of like ketchup, but it has a bit of sweetness and spiciness to it. I believe Dad got the sausage and the beans from a grocery shopping trip to Wegmans he took by himself right before he came to pick me up from Mom's place today. These are scalloped potatoes his mom made. She seemed to have done a pretty good job on them. They taste pretty good. As for the milk I'm having right now, it's from an old gallon of milk. There was no need for Dad to get any new gallons of milk today. The milk I'm having right now is perfectly fine, though. At some point today, I had thoughts of having lactose free milk. Not because I'm allergic to lactose, but because lactose is a kind of sugar. And thus, I'm thinking maybe it would be possible to get lactose-free milk, and thus have it be more keto-friendly, while still having the same amount of healthy fats as standard whole milk. It's something I thought about today, and previously in the past. I recall around 5:15 p.m. 5:30 p.m. While on the phone, and when Dad mentioned doing grocery shopping at Wegmans, I asked if I suggested getting lactose-free milk, and that was when he mentioned that there were already old gallons of milk at home. In the 2 or so hours prior to that point, I filmed a room tour video for the first time in 6 months. The mambo sauce is a little spicy, but not horribly so. Around 4:45 p.m., I had the large garden salad that I got from Wegmans a few days ago during a grocery shopping trip at our local Wegmans with my mom and I. I had the garden salad, the large garden salad. After filming the room tour video using the same thing I'm using to film this right now. It's my first room tour video. In about 6 months. I recall waking up today around right before noon, about 3 minutes after 11:45 a.m. was when I woke up. Though I don't recall really getting up until about 1:30 p.m. As I was finishing up a cup of coffee, plain, that my mom made for me. This was after going to bed around 6 in the morning. So I probably woke up naturally enough early enough that I could probably try to go to bed earlier tonight. It's currently 11:23 p.m. And I went to bed today at 6 in the morning. After having some of the leftover pasta and a leftover chicken tender from a pack of them prepared by Wegmans. I had that during the first hours of today after microwaving it for a minute and a half. That was a good amount of time for the pasta, not so much for the chicken tender. I knew this in advance, but the chicken tender ended up being perfectly fine. Probably would have been fine with no time. But I decided to microwave it with the pasta. Grandma also gave Dad these cookies, though she bought them. They're not homemade, but They're still pretty good. And this ice cream is the last from a pack of Kit Kat drumstick novelty ice creams that Dad got during an earlier trip to Wegmans, not the one he took today. Grandma gave these cookies to Dad today along with the scalloped potatoes. Here's where I am currently on One Among Zombies. At one point, after getting back at Dad's place, I bought this handy flashlight, thinking that it went in this slot, but as it turns out, it actually goes in this slot. I recall buying the handy flashlight from this shop for 115 ammo, if I recall correctly. With ammo being the non-premium currency that you get from completing campaign missions. You can still get the cans, the premium currency, for free, just at a slower rate, since generally you only get cans for completing certain tasks and daily missions. Some of these give cans as a possible reward, while completing these always gives ammo. Here's where I am currently on Elvenar. I completed some task sets earlier today for the current episodic event. I also found this new phone charger while filming my latest room tour video, for which I'm thankful because the old one, this section, the equivalent on the old one, was starting to become somewhat torn and detached from the rest of the old charger. It still worked, but at this point it's probably better to have this new one, which also charges pretty well. Brought it over from Mom's place to Dad's place, and by putting it in with my laptop case while Dad was coming over to pick me up.